back with Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars. Now I obviously know about this game.
City of love, romance, and dreams.
But this is the first time I'm actually playing it.
I used to say it too. But ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death.
It's amazing how old this game is, and I've heard of it, but never had the chance to play it. And it's been sitting in my backlog for God knows how long. Many years, probably. But it's a classic game. Most people who play adventure games know of the Broken Sword series. This is the first one.
I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away.
Yeah, that mime looks creepy.
The palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty? You're too kind, madame.
The talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you.
What a
idly.
little bitch.
I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father? He never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat.
My God! What? Monsieur Carchon!
Oh. Just got...
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
Okay, so let's see. Alright, areas of interest. Pointer passes over the object. Briefcase, inventory, diary, question mark, puzzle hints, spanner icon, save, restore, blah blah. Alright. So, let's see what we can get from all these, I don't want to look at the body right now. I'm just gonna go look out the window.
A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job.
Alright.
A bust of Pierre Cauchon, humble servant of La France. The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him.
Alright, let's examine the body.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him. Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend.
Huh. I like how this is fully voiced. I did not think it was.
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now. I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
His wife didn't think about it.
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down.
Let's see. Anything else?
I opened his eyes. Best to leave the crime scene as I found it.
No.
I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
Just play with the dude's dead body.
Cauchon had been shot.
Okay. Let's see, is there anything else in here?
Pierre Cauchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room.
Bookshelf.
The bookcase was filled with obscure first editions.
See, when playing adventure games, I always like to make sure I thoroughly look through the entire area. Okay, I think that's all we're gonna get with the body. Let's go out.
The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them.
Look, there's an obscure piece of paper on a table. Let's click it.
I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
Wow.
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
That's why we need...
Aha! Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff. Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
She's not even that sad that her husband died. I definitely think she has something to do with it. Let's see, what else?
It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
Does she? It looks like she's actually crying
Imelda
now.
had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
Oh, come now. The lady's husband just died.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
She's really cold,
How
man.
did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Coulard.
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Trying to say something.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly I preferred it that way. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Wow, the disdain for journalism. It's almost as if this game was made earlier this year.
Yes, that's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if my editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
You don't. You know? Oh, I want to answer this so wrong.
Because you have no choice. The police will take weeks, in which time your own life may be in danger.
What?
Believe me, this killer has struck before, and he will strike again. Who is to know that you are not next on his list?
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you? I trust so few people, and I share your low opinion of the police. Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
Okay.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this.
What's this?
There was no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case.
Okay.
I thought of leaving, but was sure there was more to find.
Let's look at her painting.
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that. The door was locked.
I could have picked it. Can I pick the door?
It was going to take more than a hair clip to open the door. I needed the key.
Okay, let's use the key.
Now we were getting somewhere.
Alright. So these old adventure games used to be so difficult that you had to, like, definitely find a way to look up
Painting
information.
showed the Cachons together, in love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie?
Aw, look at them holding their guns.
The painting was attached firmly to the wall. There was the very faintest of clicks.
Ooh.
Behind the picture was a safe. The safe was locked. I needed the key.
Okay, let's go back. Where else can we click?
This wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression. Though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why. As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision.
Okay.
My heart skipped a beat. It was a carved elephant. But not just any carved elephant. It had been made by my father. I knew for certain because in my apartment I had its exact twin, carved into a box he had made. So Carchon had known my father. They really must have been friends. I decided to take the carved elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda.
Alright. So we got the carved elephant. What's this?
I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Not while it was blank. I didn't want to take the tray, but I knew that I could use it.
So what can we use it with? What's this?
It was a boat ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. When I was a little girl, Papa used to take me on the Bateau Mouche as a treat. No. The cloth was embroidered with an unusual symbol. No. It was the beautiful elephant my father had carved. The paint would have just soaked into the blotting paper, but the idea was good.
The idea was good, so what is it that I need to do? Okay, let's go back out. Let's look at some of the other things.
Locked. Not surprising, really.
How about we go and see from Mademoiselle if we could... What's this?
I didn't need the lights on. It was light enough already.
Let's go ask her about some of these things that we just picked up.
Imelda now looked shocked and scared. Almost human, in fact.
Did you find anything useful?
This carving. Do you know anything about it?
It was Pierre's. What does the statue have to do with...
Please, I need to know.
He was given it by a friend. Something to do with Africa.
He never explained any more.
No. But I think it was important to him. Always on display. Why?
It was carved by my father.
Oh, I see. I didn't know.
Just one thing. I know this is going to sound strange, but did your husband ever mention... Did he ever talk to you about a penguin? Or a snowman?
What? I don't understand.
He never mentioned people dressed up as penguins.
Nico, I don't know what you're talking.
My dear,
you should go before the police arrive. There will be many awkward questions. I am grateful that you stayed. You've been so kind.
Please, call if there is anything I can do. I'd misjudged her. She had every reason to be bitter, living with a guy like Carchon. From the sound of it, no one and nothing was safe around him. Maybe I should have interrogated the cat after all.
Where's the cat? There was a cat somewhere here? Wait. No. We already got that. What's this?
A magnificent antique table.
Okay. Hey, let me see if I could ask her about some of these things.
Madame Carchon,
please call me Imelda. We hardly need the formalities now, do we?
So, her husband took secret boat trips. Did she really need to see the ticket? Did Monsieur Carchon say nothing to you about my...
No. Thank you. You have your own reason for taking the cloth. Please keep it.
Okay, not the cloth. What about...
Would you like to take the elephant back?
No, my dear. You should keep it.
Imelda might not have been so cool with me poking around if I'd shown her the key I'd found.
Wait, I found that key,
I was
right.
sure that there was more.
It's like, right, I did find a key. Okay. Alright, so let's pick up that key that we had. Put it in the safe. Open it up.
In the safe was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important. But these symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. But what could I use for ink? And what could I print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Carchon was past caring.
So crass. Alright, let's go back over here. Okay, so we have this artifact. Alright.
The blotter was flat already. Rolling the cylinder across it would achieve nothing.
Okay, let's stick this
The paint
first.
would have just soaked into the blotting paper. But the idea was good.
The idea is definitely good, so let's see. Okay.
I'd spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray. It was ruined. I was a very bad girl, but also quite a clever one. I rolled the artifact in the paint until it was completely coated.
Okay.
Genius! The roller and the paint worked just as I planned. But what did it say? It was some kind of coded message. It read, "Sub judice." I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts. Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense.
SDDS?
I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message. The boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. The conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, housed the ancient law courts. So, sub judice could in this case mean literally under the law courts, below the conciergerie. I was pretty sure I'd found all I could here. And besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time.
Pulitzer! The Pulitzer Prize. Alright, so that's all we got. And I think it's time to leave. We've robbed this poor lady blind. And she's mourning the death of her husband. So I'm just gonna exit.
Imelda, I will do everything I can to find the killer.
Thank you, my dear.
And if the police ask,
Don't worry. You were never here.
sub judice was the key. I was going to have to find a way under the conciergerie. I decided to head straight for the quayside on the Ile de la Cité. If there was a way of getting under the conciergerie, it would have to be from there.
Ile de la Cité, an hour later.
Carchon wasn't the type for messing about on the river. He was up to something down here. Something that got him killed.
Okay, let's see.
The fence wouldn't move.
How about this one? Something has to budge, right?
This fence wouldn't move either.
Oh. This one, though.
The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. It was embroidered on the lace cloth I'd picked up at Carchon's apartment. I knew I was on the right track.
Let's go into this very dimly lit cavern of sorts underneath the river. Are you kidding? It's not
I tried
open.
pushing the fence, but it wouldn't move.
It wouldn't move.
A strange pair of locks stopped the latches from releasing the gate.
Okay. So it's this kind of puzzle. I feel like I'm playing a Professor Layton game. So this has to move down further. No, wait. Like, how will I... This middle block is something I need to get rid of.
One down, one to go.
Okay. Let's go back. Look at this one. Alright. Okay, so same as before, we need to get this long one down. Nope, that's not going to be moved anytime. Alright, you know what? This one's difficult. How do we move this middle piece? Maybe we move both of those. That. We got those there. No, wait, go back. Ah, I put it in the wrong spot. Okay. Okay.
Nothing like a good convent education for honing your lockpicking skills. I wasn't leaving yet. I had a hunch there was more to find.
Alright,
It was the old boathouse for the conciergerie. If I was right about the meaning of subjudice, then the answer had to lie somewhere here on the quayside.
why doesn't she have a gun? I feel like this would be appropriate to bring a gun.
For a room full of junk, that was one very sophisticated lock system. This place was definitely fishy, in more ways than one. I really didn't want to pull the fence back up and risk trapping myself in this place. Oops.
Oops, I dropped the little broken boat.
An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there.
An old shell case. That's a
The
bullet
brass
shell.
case was smooth and perfectly round. Moving a skiff would only damage it more.
Alright, let's take a look at this strange looking door.
The words, sinister, and Dexter were carved on either side. Now any good convent girl like me knows the old Roman for left, right, left, right. But what did it mean here?
Sinister Dexter.
The hole was too small even for my little hand.
Oh, wait, you know what? Small hole.
I couldn't get my hand in.
Stick this little cylinder.
Mystery solved. Carchon's stone cylinder slotted into the hole with a satisfying click.
Okay, and now we have that S.
Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters, S, D, S, S, D, S, S.
So S, D.
I made a mistake. The lock reset.
Wait, so S.
A satisfying click told me I turned it to the right position. It felt like tumblers in a safe.
So S, D.
Another click. Another step closer.
S. S. D. S. S.
I love the sound of locks clicking open.
Alright, we're making a lot of headway. Usually these old adventure game puzzles are very difficult and you need to consult something, like a guide or something to get through certain puzzles. So far...
Oh my God!
No.
The slab came down with a hell of a force. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before.
Okay, let's...
With nothing to hold it up, the cross dropped back down again. If I was going to get a closer look at the panel, I'd have to find a way of keeping the cross up.
What do I have that can keep up a cross? And there's nothing else in here, huh? What's this?
The panel wouldn't move. Lifting the cross closed the entrance door and also opened some kind of stone panel. Ingenious.
She's so, like, enamored with this stuff. Let's put the little bullet in there.
The stone cross was propped up. Now I was getting somewhere.
Let's press the button. We love pressing buttons.
I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. I've always been attached to my fingers. This slot was designed for something specific. But what? A round slot precisely carved into the stonework.
What's a round slotty thing? No? You know what? We're gonna have to prop that up with something else.
I removed the shell case.
Can we prop it up with this key?
This wouldn't hold the cross up. But I was on the right track. I needed to use something sturdier. The brass case was smooth and perfectly round.
No. Okay. So it's definitely the shell case.
A round slot precisely carved into the stonework.
So a round slot. What would fit into the round slot? Not that. Come on, think.
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. No way would I be able to force the door open.
Alright, let me think. So, round slot.
The cross was firmly propped up.
I know it fits into there. Can I keep the cross propped up with something else?
I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. This slot was designed for something specific. But what?
Oh, what else is around here?
The cross was firmly propped up.
Can I lockpick whatever that slot is? No. Man. What can I do? I feel like this is something that's really on the tip of my tongue. Huh. Okay. Why don't we take that out?
I removed the shell case.
Pick it up. Nope. What else is in my possession that could hold up the cross? Can't only be this little brass thing.
This wouldn't hold the cross up. But I was on the right track. I needed to use something sturdier.
This isn't
This wouldn't
sturdy.
hold the cross up. But I was on the right track. I needed to use something sturdier.
Ah, okay. Then there's something that I'm missing here. Let's open
I
that door.
removed the shell case. Ut lex vel ut next sumito. To the law or unto death submit. I guess these people didn't believe in liberté, égalité, or fraternité. Yes, I'll admit it. I was a swot at school. I also wore lipstick and the nuns never knew.
Let me see if there's anything else in here. What's this?
I removed the stone cylinder.
And the door's still open. Alright. Okay.
The artifact slotted into the hole perfectly. Behind the old walls, I could hear some kind of mechanism groaning into life, but whatever had been triggered had now jammed.
Let's take a look.
The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open.
Something thin enough. No.
A hidden door. This was getting interesting. Shame the mechanism jammed. I was going to have to find a way to prise it open.
Mechanism is jammed. What would we use for a jammed
I
mechanism?
was going to need something a lot stronger than a hair clip to free the door. I removed the shell case. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up. A hidden door. This was getting interesting.
Okay, it was jammed. Let's see if this works.
The gap was too narrow. I needed something flatter to work into it.
Something flatter. No. And like, take out everything. Use everything. We might be missing something. Something flatter. Can I, like, combine stuff?
No. No.
I can combine stuff.
No.
So what should I combine?
No. 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 The gap was
That's
too
too
thin for me
thin.
to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open.
I need something thin to prise the door open. Shell casing, skiff. Hint. A door has partially open. What should I do? Hint 1. You'll need something flat and rigid to lever open the door. You have something metal, but how can it be flattened? Wait, so this is metal, right?
The gap was too narrow. I needed something flatter to work into it.
So how would I make...
The cross didn't need to be propped up.
Okay, what if I take this? Now we pick up the cross. Okay. Now we have something flat and metal. Right?
The stone slab had flattened one end of the shell case.
And we take that shell casing and use it underneath the store.
I needed a gap for leverage.
Ugh. Okay, so how do we make the gap now? So we have to open this up again. Prop it up. Put the little thing back in the slot.
I removed the shell case.
I only needed one hint to get it right. There we go.
Another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had something to hide. But was it what I was looking for?
Alright, let's go on in.
Wow. Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. But for what purpose? And how did it tie in with Carchon?
It's so dark. I don't have anything that lights up. Ah, here we go.
Amazing! The thing still worked. The room lit up bright as day. I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years. The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear.
What message was that?
Fascist regalia, a message of hate.
Okay.
Inside the drawer, I found a note written in some kind of code. It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently at this desk. Oh my God! The sheet was a printout with my personal information. Everything from my favorite food to my waist size.
So a
They were right
stalker.
about chocolate. But come on, guys, I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big and organized. I was part of it, and people were getting murdered. The dregs at the bottom of the mug hadn't dried out or gone moldy. It wasn't more than a day old.
See, I would take the cup.
This was the article I'd written about the costume killer. My suspicions were right. Carchon had cut it out. 2 businessmen had been killed. One in Italy, one in Japan. In each case, the killer had worn a costume. A penguin, and then a snowman. But that wasn't the only link between the 2 murders. Both the victims had been big media do-gooders, and I proved they were just the opposite. So, how did they fit in with Carchon?
Mystery.
One thing was clear. Someone connected to Carchon had been watching me. One thing was
Okay, is that all?
my articles about the costume killer.
Alright, let's look back in this desk. So strong.
Damn, don't you just hate it when that happens? A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back of the drawer. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Carchon. Behind him were soldiers, a burning village and a corpse. The photograph was cropped on the right-hand side. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't want to be in it anymore. I wasn't surprised. This was Africa in the 60s. An uprising was being brutally suppressed. And here was Mr. Media himself, Carchon, doing the suppressing. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one explosive story.
Anything
There
else?
was nothing else in the drawer.
Oh, only half a photo. I feel like there should be another half somewhere nearby.
The flags had faded. Fascist. I wasn't going to find anything in this.
What about over here?
A door like that always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it. That wasn't going to help. That was...
Okay, there's a hole there. Wait, let me go back. Ah, crap. Okay, never mind. I thought I could put it inside the other hole in the door. But clearly I can't. Alright, so is there anything in here?
Turning the lights off wasn't going to help.
Nope, that was just the lights.
That was more sensible.
Alright, let's look at this.
A slot next to the safe door. All I had to do was find something to fit into it. It was like being back in kindergarten. All I needed now was a shape that would fit the slot.
What's a nice shape? What's this? Note had been written on a substitution cipher. Okay. I don't know. So this must be... Oh, there's only one of it. Oh, ciphers, man. Let's see. About this N-looking one. Let's see. No. Just restart that. We're gonna go through that later.
A door like that, all...
Okay, there should be something around here, man. Like,
The drawer had come out easily enough, but wouldn't fit back into place. There was nothing else in the drawer. The congealed coffee wasn't appealing.
Is there nothing else in this room that I can touch? No. It's just going to tell me about the Nazis. Map? Nope.
I wasn't...
Oh no, no, not that.
A slot next to the safe door. All I had to do was find something to fit into it. Lady Justice stared out from a stone door, which was locked and reinforced with steel bands.
Like, what would fit into that slot? No. About this key. Like, I'm 90% sure that what would fit into this slot. Let's pick this up.
I removed the shell case.
I don't think the shell case would fit into the slot. It looks too big for that. But that little puzzle cipher thing might. No? But how do we keep this door open?
The flattened lip of the shell case was too wide.
The flattened lip of the shell case was too wide. So how do we get back in here, yeah?
The slab was too heavy for me to lift. I removed the shell case.
Can we pick the slot? No. Okay. This place is packed with evidence. Let me get a hint. Remember that you picked up a note encoded with a cipher. Yeah, I remember the note. Oh, okay. So let's see if we could try this. We have a whole bunch of... I don't know. I feel like that's definitely... The E is definitely right. I feel like these three should be right. And then just to decipher what the rest are. Okay. No. Because this can also be... No, this isn't right. Having problems cracking the cipher. Okay, let's try... Maybe this is a T. 2. Let's try. Actually, let's make this an N. Let's try this for I. And S to it. So I in is it is on trying to figure this out. It's let me look at the hints. Okay. Look for one or two letters and try out A or T or in or of, to, by, AT. Wonder what this is. It's a strange letter. There's only one. Hey, let's restart. Okay. So I think So what's another word that can be 2 or 3 letters? So let's try BE. So no, that can't be it. Two makes the most sense with this. Because 2, TOO and TO. Well, what do we have after? Let's try this. F or N? No, rot. Are you? Like, I'm trying to think. No, this can't be. That R isn't correct. Because where did we want to put the R? We wanted to put the R there. That can't be an R. Because there's no 2 letters except for OR. Let's see, what about this? Maybe that's an I. It. N. Or maybe S. So we have 2, 2 is... let me think. Maybe that's an A? That's not an A. What could this be? 3 double letters. Wait. Huh, let's see. Follow. W. To follow. Blah, blah. I think I'm onto something here. What about this? Let's see. H. Wait, I think this is S. Could this be together? Wait, but then that means these are all E's. And then this would be an R. Phyre. Phyre. Full report to follow. Okay. Oh, it feels good to actually figure that out. Full report to follow. Put this, but this is too urgent to wait. Arno and who? Both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in what? Okay, you know what? I got take great care. Arno and Yamada both dead. Came together in July. Take great care. Z? No. X?
I had decrypted the note.
Oh.
It read,
Yes.
full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arno and Yamada both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in July are in danger. Take great care. X.
Awesome.
I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murders. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know that he didn't? I had enough for a story. An amazing story that was going to make my reputation and blow Carchon's to pieces. I needed to get home fast and start typing.
Okay. Nico's apartment that evening. I want to save. I definitely don't have enough time to finish this.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Nico, it's Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, you cracked open the champagne yet?
Are you crazy?
What's wrong? Wait a minute. You didn't print it, did you?
Of course I didn't print.
That's the best piece I've written.
The last, as far as I'm concerned.
It's
Oh
important.
no.
It's suicidal. You can't destroy a national hero.
He deserved it.
His corpse isn't even cold.
Ronnie, 2 hours ago I told you what I'd found. You loved it. You begged me to write it up immediately.
2 hours is a long time in newspapers, Nico.
Someone's got to you, haven't they?
Listen up, Nicole, and listen good. Phyre Carchon had a lot of friends. Powerful friends. For your own sake.
Forget what happened.
You got it. End of conversation. Good night.
Oh,
This should have been my big break.
I know,
I knew
right?
there was nowhere else to sell this story. If Ronnie wouldn't print it, nobody would.
Ah. God damn it, Ronnie. Print the story.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Mademoiselle Collard, my name is Plantard. I need to talk to you about your story. Your Phyre Carchon story.
How did you know about that?
There are people out there, madame, who will be very upset by this story.
Oh, really? Well, it's their lucky day. It's been spiked.
Yes, I know. We must meet.
We must?
I have information relating to your costume killer stories. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Café de la Chandelle Verte, Rue Alain Court. I shall be wearing a grey overcoat. You must talk to no one about this.
You can't tell me what to...
Tomorrow at 8. I'll be waiting.
Damn.
People complain about newspaper articles all the time, but not usually before they're printed. I was beginning to feel scared. This guy, Plantard, could I trust him? Should I meet him or forget the whole business? I didn't have an answer.
I'd only been in Paris for a week, but already I'd fallen in love with the city. My latest discovery was a little cafe, La Chandelle Verte. I was pretty sure the waitress was taking a shine to me. That old Stobart charm, I guess. Little did I know my reverie was about to be so rudely interrupted.
Ah, a killer clown. Ah, damn.
As I picked myself up, I was really angry. One minute I'm on vacation, the next minute some clown's blown me up. I knew right away what I was gonna do. I was gonna find that clown and bring him to justice. Because justice matters. Justice is up there with liberty, and equality, and, fraternity. After all, that's why I'd studied law, wasn't it? Well, that and the money, of course.
Alright. So, it's getting kind of late, guys, so I think we're going to finish here. Let's see. We just save, and this has been another Playing with Fire, so thank you guys so much for watching. This is Phyre. Peace out. Until next stream.